Hi guys, Stephanie here with another Bibliophobes video, and today I am bringing you 5 fantasy books that I don't hear a lot about on YouTube, and I just think they need a little extra love. So, without further ado, let's get into this. But first, a cup of coffee. So the first book on this list that I think these books are personally my own favorites. If I would say go check them out, give them a try, because they are really good books. And I just don't hear a lot about them or at all on BookTube. I really think that you need to hear more about these books on BookTube. So the first book in this little series that I'm doing is Kandor the Warrior by Leo. Now this book is about, obviously, Kandor, and he is a warrior, and he is sent on a mission to stop the evil, power-hungry Morgana. And Morgana has poisoned the king. She's trying to take over the kingdom. She's trying to become Grand Empress herself. And and Kandor is on a mission to stop her. But the funny thing is, Morgana knows that he's coming. Kandor knows that she knows that he is coming. And he still is heading that way. And you meet a whole bunch of awesome characters along the way. My favorite being Rockwood, which the ending, really cut me in the heart there. But this story is so good. It is about action, adventure, character growth, and a little bit of a love story in there too. So I absolutely love this book. This book was sent to me by the author. He asked if I could do a free review, and I did, and I absolutely loved it. So I think this book needs a lot of love because I don't hear about it ever, and I thoroughly enjoyed this book. The next book in this list, Daughter of the Pirate King by Tricia Levenseller. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. And by the way, these books are in no particular order. I love all of these books. I just wrote them down on a list. But so this book, I thoroughly enjoyed it. And you can tell that the author enjoyed writing it as well, because I mean, it's a pirate story. Who doesn't love that? And it is about our main character named Alosa. I think that's how you say her name. I'm pretty sure that's how you say her name. And she is on a mission to get this treasure map that is, of course, the most sought after piece of a map that in all of the land. And what better way to find said map than to let yourself get kidnapped by the people that actually have this map? For the first chapter alone, the first chapter alone made me love this book instantly. So Alosa, she is let herself get kidnapped by her enemy, and she did not expect that her enemy was unpredictable, smart, and in her words, unfairly attractive. So the banter in this between those two, because our other main character is called Ryder, and the banter between those two, it is awesome. And the tricks that she has up her sleeve, because he knows that she knows that she is after the map. Yeah. And she planned on him knowing that she's after the map, but she has a lot of tricks up her sleeve. He figures that she is going to try to escape and try to get the map while she escapes, but no, she doesn't want to escape. She literally starts picking locks and just wandering around the ship at night. So it is just an awesome book. It is so awesome. So I think this book needs a lot of extra love. The next book in the series, The Forest of Arrows by V.F. Sharp. I adore this book. This book, I found it on a whim. I was on Instagram scrolling through and I saw an advertisement for this book. One, I was intrigued already. That cover is absolutely gorgeous. So I was like, okay, I saw it a few times. I was like, okay, I'll check it out. Let's go through it. So I found it, read the synopsis, and I'm like, that sounds interesting. So I bought it, read it, loved it, loved it. This book is the debut novel for V.S. Sharp, and I absolutely adore this book. This book is about a group of adventurous, I wouldn't call them kids because they live by themselves. So I would call them just a group of adventurous friends. And while they're playing a daring game, which is actually a forbidden game because magic in this land is forbidden and it's considered evil. Well, there is a forest that has been awakened by magic, and creatures are starting to come out of it, and the trees are starting to be awakened, and it is super cool. But while they are playing this game, one of their friends from this group goes missing, and they cannot find her anywhere. So they embark on a quest to basically go find her. And they did not expect that in finding her, they would get into this much shenanigans. It is, without a doubt, one of the best books I read. I believe it was last year. So, I love all the characters. There are multiple characters, and she writes them all very, very good. And I think what I want to do is actually do a full review on this. I want to reread it because I want to revisit this world, because her next book is coming out soon. So I want to revisit this world and do a video on it because it is such a good book. The next book, Kings of the Wild by Nicholas Ames. This is, I know I keep saying these are amazing books. This is an amazing book. They're all amazing books. But this book, oh, it was so good. So I am literally going to read the back of the book because there's no better way to describe it than the little like synopsis he has right here. Okay. And okay, so it starts out, Glory never gets old. Clay Cooper, awesome name by the way. And when I first read the back, I thought it was like some rock band, but no, it's like a band of mercenaries type thing. I don't know why I thought that, but maybe it's because like of the font and everything. I don't know. But I read it and I learned, obviously. Clay Cooper and his band were once the best of the best, the most feared and renowned crew of mercenaries, which, duh, they should have given it away. This side of the Heart Wild. Their glory days long past, the mercs have grown apart and grown old, fat, drunk, or a combination of the three. I love these types of stories. Then an ex-bandmate turns up at Clay's door with a plea for help. The kind of mission that only the very brave or the very stupid would sign up for. It's time to get the band back together. If that alone doesn't intrigue you to read this, because it is so funny. There are a couple parts in this book where they're like fighting and stuff, and then they literally stop and they're like, you gotta take a break. I used to be able to do this 20 years ago. It's amazing. So you laugh, you cry, there's enough blood and gore in this to satisfy anybody. So definitely a really, really enjoyable book and a very, very awesome book. I want to get the hardcover of this because as I read, I tend to like play with the cover, and I've kind of played with this one a little too much. It's ripping. So the last book in this series, I read this one a long time ago, but I read it and it stuck with me for so many years. And now I'm starting to finish up on the series, and then they just came out with another one. And that is Graceling by Kristin Cashore. This is a very, very different book. Now when I first started reading this book, I was reading a bunch of fantasy, and they all kind of had the same vibe, like that Lord of the Rings, go on a quest, good guy, bad guy, evil loses, good wins. This was a very different book because you didn't know who the good guy was and you didn't know who the bad guy was. But this book is about our main character named Katza, and she is a Graceling. which a Graceling in this world means that they have an extreme ability, whether it's with cooking, eyesight, smell was one of them, which I thought that was kind of awesome, that even the smallest thing, you have a Graceling. And then another characteristic of a Graceling is you have 2 different colored eyes, which that was awesome. That was such an awesome concept. So Katsa is graced with the ability to fight. She has been able to kill a man since she was like the age of 7. But she really doesn't know exactly what her grace is. Yes, she can fight, but she can do other stuff too. There's certain things that have happened that haven't involved fighting, but she's really good at. So she, not really knowing what her grace is, but with this extreme ability to be able to fight, she is the niece to the king, meaning that she is put to work. She is put on missions that are basically life or death. They're suicide missions, and she comes back all the time. So I love Katsa. The very first couple chapters, I fell in love with the character, but then somewhere you meet a different character, and his name is Poe. He is actually Prince Poe, and he is also a Graceling with the grace, they call it, with the grace of knife fighting. But Katsa she doesn't think he's telling the whole truth, because just certain things that he's, that would involve knife fighting, he's terrible at. But other things he's really good at. So she doesn't believe that he is good at knife fighting. And so along the way, because they are sent out on a mission to go to this other kingdom. So along the way, Katsa learned something about her grace that she had never thought about before. Her and Poe become best friends, and along the way there is a hidden evil secret that they have discovered. So it was a very gripping story. It was sad, it was happy, it was heart-wrenching, and when you have that many emotions in a book, you can't help but like it. And I absolutely love this book, and this was like one of the first different type of fantasies that I read, so I fell in love with this book and this series, and I just don't see it a lot on BookTube, and I think that it should be talked about more. So, but that is it, guys. That is the top 5 books so far that I've read that I believe needs a lot more love on BookTube. And let me know in the comments down below whether you agree with me, whether you disagree, your list of books that you think should have more love. And until next time, guys, this is an Bibliophobe signing off.